Hey everyone, how we doing? Welcome to this stream. This is going to be a new series that we're going to be doing every Thursday, just kind of a little bit more casual, playing around with the tools and trying to get into all the different softwares. I'm Sam, I'm the creative director for Rococo, and welcome everyone who's here. First of all, I guess, hey everyone. Hey Tiger. There's about a 10-second delay for me with the chat. So let me know if there's anything. Yeah, I got all the mocap space. Let me know if there's anything wrong with the audio or the video's looking weird, and I'll try and fix that. Faraday Infinity. Oh man, I'm super sorry to hear about that. Yeah, we've been having delays with our shipping, unfortunately. If you haven't already, I would email customer success at rococo.com. I'll put it in the chat. Success at rococo.com. I think that's it. If I spelled success right. But yeah, I don't have a ton of information on the delays other than to say that, we apologize and we're trying to get them out the door as quickly as we can. And yeah, just trying to figure out our manufacturing. So email them and maybe they can help you out. But yeah, other than that, today we're going to be playing with Houdini and Rococo. I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize as well. I'll try not to cough into the mic, but should be a lot of fun. I'm also on a new system, so I'm still figuring out getting all my shortcuts and everything sorted. So we'll see how this goes. And also, this is going to be like these live streams are going to be a little bit more just kind of playing around. And like I've kind of tested out the workflow that we're going to be doing today, but I haven't done it exactly. So we're going to be working through it in real time and seeing if we can make something. And hello. Nada. Hello. What's up, everyone? From all over the place. So cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump into it. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Let me know the background. I made it. It's a render. It's a Cinema 4D render. The background. Some fur. I don't think I have it anywhere, but maybe I'll find it if we have time at the end of the stream and throw it up somewhere. Cool. So yeah, for this one, our inaugural stream here, I thought we could play around with Houdini and of course some Rococo mocap, and then I'm going to use some Cinema 4D just for like some staging purposes. And the thing I thought that's been in my head for a little while that I've been wanting to do is this shot this was from the original Shadow and Bone trailer on Netflix, which I didn't really even watch, but I hear is pretty good. I don't know, it's a YA thing. But this using magic to blow back a crowd. This is something that I saw this shot, I remember, and I was like, we can do that. That's something that we can do using Rococo tools. So I thought we'd try to recreate it today. So, basically what I've already done, and we'll jump into Rococo Studio in a second, but what we're going to be doing is I've recorded, the magic, the wizard guys, animation, pushing out the little magical cloud or whatever along the ground, and then a loop of a person running that we're going to take into Houdini and bash a big crowd with some collider objects to simulate this magic, effect or whatever. So should be super doable. We'll see. I haven't exactly tried to do it yet, so you guys are here along with me for the ride. So let's jump into it. Okay. Hello for people joining. So I'm going to go into Rococo, and this is a shot that I did, or an animation that I made earlier today. And basically it's just me running across this space, which is amazing. Yeah, I just moved temporarily. for the next 2 months into this garage. So I have big old space to play around with, which I'm usually in a little office, which works, but it's fun to be able to like kind of run around. And yeah, so this is without gloves because our looping feature doesn't work with the gloves currently. It'll be working with the gloves in Studio 2.0, which is coming out in a little while. But yeah, as you can see, you know, I turned on the camera, so I had playback or whatever. I'm going to minimize myself a little bit more. And I'm actually going to put myself up in the top corner here so I don't block any of this sweetness down at the bottom. But yeah, I just kind of ran across the space and tried to do it in a way that was like, you know, that was the same cycle as I was running. Doesn't need to be perfect, but this is what I ended up with. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we actually need to clean this up a little bit because this is the bit that we're interested in right here. So we just want to make sure that this is going to look as good as possible before we export it and put it onto a character. So I'm going to minimize this guy. We can take a look actually at the other thing too. So this is the other animation that I recorded. This is like the magical wizard guy. Boom. I always get a very intense look on my face when I'm doing these. But yeah, you know, pretty basic, nothing fancy, but we'll get the job done. So let's minimize this, and let's go back to that first animation here. And what I want to grab is this bit right here, the running bit, right? So this is going to be, we're going to loop this, and then we're going to be able to throw that into Houdini, where you can pretty easily get like a crowd going. I haven't done it in a little while, so we'll see how it goes. But it shouldn't be too tough. Hopefully, it won't be. So the process for making a loop, we want to make a little run cycle here. First thing that I always do is I always check my foot contact with the ground. So if you turn on this little gizmo here, you can actually visualize the foot contact. You know, you'll get a solid color every time the keyframe is saying the foot is on the ground. And for those of you who don't know the program, these little bars here are basically a visualization of foot contact with the ground, because foot contact with the ground is how this all runs, right? A lot of the mocap is all done via this foot contact with the ground. So the blue ones are the right foot, right? Yeah. And the green ones are the left foot. And so the first thing I always do is I just go through and like make sure these look right. They actually do right now, I feel like. But if I were to like intentionally mess this up intentionally to show you, I think I actually already touched this. But if the data had come in like this, well, it still looks actually kind of okay. But you can see the foot isn't on the ground, the right foot. And that's because, you know, with this keyframe here, the program doesn't think that the foot is actually on the ground. So we need to extend out this keyframe and make sure it kind of reflects what actually happened. So now, there you go. We get a much better result. The other filters that I always turn on, usually, especially for running, is knee pop smoothing, which just kind of smooths out the hips essentially as they go through space, and the end effect is that it smooths out the knees, because sometimes you can get a little popping effect, which we don't want. And then foot IK. Foot IK makes sure that the feet, when they are on contact with the ground, they're going to stay in contact with the ground, and so that is that's always good as well. So I'm going to hit process changes, let it run through, and now, yeah, looks good. So this is like a little running guy, right? And I tried to get the arms really wavy. Hello. Dong. First. You were first. Welcome, man. From Vietnam, right? Yeah. Hello. Okay, so how do we loop this guy? Let's loop it up. So if you hold on Shift, and then you scroll in the timeline, you can open up this segment here. And basically what I'm going to try and do is find a point at which both the beginning and ending parts of the segment are similar, and then it'll create like a good loop, ideally, hopefully. So go through, this looks, I'll start here. So this is like right foot just off the ground. Or no, left foot just off the ground. So like that. Let's try that. So this is my loop here. And then if I click these three little dots, I can turn on loopable, start from origin, align motion to axis. So that's going to make sure that the loop is going like directly on the, what is this, the x-axis, I guess. And then close loop, and that's going to make it so that the loop is like running in place, right? So for a run cycle. So hit process changes. See how it looks? So it looks a little funny. The flashing things are not, that's just an artifact in the program. That's not actually in our animation. But what we can do is kind of play with some of the timing here. If I bring it in a little bit, that looks better. So that's, I think that looks better. So that's like, a little run cycle. And I always think the run cycles it's like an awesome feature of Rococo Studio that I hope we talk about enough, because it's really cool that you can generate these run cycles and it just does it for you. So, okay, that's our running character who's going to be running towards our wizard. Now let's go through, I'm going to export this. So I'm going to right click it, hit export. I'm going to do an FBX. We don't have a face. I always use the My Human IK skeleton, and then I'm doing 30 FPS. I'm just going to hit export. There we go. So that's our run cycle exported. Can you do the looping with any animation from Duxie? And again, I apologize if there's a delay. I think there's like a 10-second delay on the stream. You can. So yeah, it's like good for run cycles, but it's also good for like, I don't know, like a club scene in a video game or something, in like Cyberpunk or whatever it is. You have like side characters. I always think of like Mass Effect. I don't know if you guys have played Mass Effect, but like in the clubs in Mass Effect, there's always just like people dancing. And so, yeah, you can use, basically what all the looping is doing is it's blending the last, like, I think you can actually, let's open this up and check it out. I think you can change the transition duration of the loop. So here it's 0.4 seconds. So it's blending the last 0.2 seconds of your animation with the first 0.2 seconds. And so you can do it with any, it doesn't have to be a run. Or whatever, or walk. It can be anything. And so you just want to have people like dancing in the background on an endless, seamless loop. You can just throw the looping on, which is really cool. Yeah, that's the other thing for like seamless looping. Scenes or something. You're doing a little Instagram video and you just want like a seamless loop. You can use the looping with that too. Duxie. And hello to everyone else as well if there's new people. Okay, so this is our wizard guy. Yeah. And so I'm just going to turn on this gizmo, right? Kind of check out, make sure everything is looking pretty good. Boop. See, so there's this gap here in the foot, which we don't really need. So I'm just going to drag this all the way over, get rid of that gap. And, there's another little tiny gap here. There's some extraneous keyframes I'm just going to delete. So you can select these keyframes and delete them. Then we just have a full bar there. Dong, still here. Stick around. Even if you don't use Houdini. I'm going to be using the apprentice version of Houdini in this, so that's completely free. I don't think I'll be able to export out of it, but Houdini is completely free, which is amazing. And also, if anyone has any questions about just Rococo stuff in general, feel free to throw them in. You can also always book a one-on-one live demo with our team, which is, I think, always cool. So take advantage of that. But yeah, the only thing I can't really offer specifics on is like order delays. Unfortunately, again, Faraday, like I'm so sorry that it's been so delayed. But we are doing our best to get those out the door. Okay, so got rid of some extraneous keyframes. Just taking a peek. The back foot does not really need to come up. So I'm just gonna extend this out as well. 5 sprite. I've been working in Houdini. I'm gonna hit process changes. I don't know, a couple years off and on. It's so deep. I try to learn as much as I can, but it is a deep program. So I've played around a lot with the crowd stuff. And there's some great shelf tools which make it like really easy to make stuff without going really deep. What you should do is like be able to build things from scratch in Houdini and everything. You don't really need to. You can just like hit the generate, whatever button and it does it for you. But yeah, Houdini, it's been a couple years, but I'm like not an expert at all. And I can figure out the crowd stuff. The Instagram account, How I See Dat World, also, I forget what that person's name is, but they have a bunch of tutorials on how to use the crowd system with custom FBXs. Like even if you just download something from Mixamo, you can like import the character into Houdini and get a crowd up and running, and it's really easy. Sepfi, looking for a coupon code. I would check out some of our influencers streams. Like Clint has some coupon codes that he'll give out sometimes, and usually when we do a webinar we give out a coupon code. So I don't have any active ones right now, I don't think. Maybe for next time though. I'll see if I can get some for next time, and then I can give out some coupon codes. We've been doing a bunch of 10% off coupon codes. Duxie, how does the online booking work? You just you go to Rococo.com and like a pop-up will come up and it will be like book a thing, and you just send them you put in your email address, and they I think we just hired some people in the US if you're based in the US, because the team is in Denmark. So there's some more US time slots that are going to be coming up if you're in the US. I don't know if you are, but we're getting better global. It's been hard to like fit everyone. People are up, you're in Vietnam or whatever, Dong, and it's like, the time zone thing is tricky, but we're getting more people, so there should be more openings to book the demos. And then you can ask them to do whatever you want. You like tell them what you're interested in, and then they can talk about that specific workflow that you have in mind, which again is really cool because it's an investment, in the suit. And so it's nice to like, is it really going to work for my workflow? You can actually test it out. You could send them files, and they'll like show how it works in advance or something. They're great. The team is really awesome. Cool. Yeah, keep your eye out for the coupon codes. And then Nada Omar, what is the difference between Rococo Studio Free and Rococo Plus? You get things like in Rococo Plus, like the face capture stuff is in Rococo Plus, and then some of the other frame rate options and the live streaming tools. That's the big one, is the live streaming tools. But there's a 30-day free trial for the Rococo Plus or the Rococo Pro. I think it is, but that gives you all the things for 30 days. So you can test it all out and for free first, which is great. You can also do it on a monthly basis, which I think is good. So you can just cancel it if you don't need it, or you need some of the tools for only some of the time. You don't need to buy a year if you don't want to. Okay, so yeah, I applied the foot IK, knee pop smoothing. This guy's looking good to me. Yeah, looks great. In theory, I could change the in and out points too, but I'm not going to. We're just going to do that all in Cinema. And, excuse me, I'm going to export again. Yeah, I think this FPS is locked at 100 in the free version. Not that it usually really matters. If anything, it's better that it's locked at 100 than 30 in case you need those frames. But yeah, but this is what I'm going to export as. FBX, body, my human IK. I always recommend that, and FPS 30. Hit export. Oh, Duxie. Why is it not on Android? Man, we are working on it. Yeah, we went really far down an Android road and had like an amazing solution, and then some stuff happened and we had to delay it. But like I have had it working on an Android device, and it works. So we'll get there. It's we're launching a new version of Studio, which is this software that we're in right now, which is free. It'll still be free, where you'll be able to like retarget 2 characters in Studio, and you won't have to, like bring it into Blender or whatever. If you want to put it on a character, you can just do it in Studio, and that will have some of the like hopefully Android, face capture will be done by then and stuff, but yeah. Sathish, oh man, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering anyone's name, always, but you're asking, what is the difference between XSense and Rococo? Well, I will tell you the difference. One is price, obviously. The reason that XSense is so much more expensive, and I'm going to close this guy out, and we're going to open up Cinema 4D. So we're done. We got our exports now, and so now we're going to throw that mocap onto characters, and then we'll prep them, which we need to do before we bring them into Houdini. So we're going to do that next. But yeah, the difference between Rococo and XSense is, functionally, I don't want to say that their mocap is like better, but it is more accurate, right? You're paying like 10 grand more, and so it's a little bit more accurate. You're gonna get maybe have to do a little bit less correction. One thing our suit does not do is you can't go upstairs really in our suit. It doesn't handle elevation changes, again, because it's based on the back end of a lot of stuff is being done in the software for foot contact. So as soon as you jump onto a surface that is not on the ground, it's going to just think that you're on the ground again, right? So it can do things like that. You can like run around the stairs. It's probably more accurate. I think that it's the sort of thing where if you have the money and it's like I don't know if you can afford it, then like go for it. XSense is great, man. I've never played with one of their suits, but they're amazing. I think it's generally just a little bit more accurate for now. I just think it's, but that being said, it's kind of like if you play within the sandbox of Rococo, you can get just as good of quality, and you just have to maybe give it a little bit more love. So I guess that's the main difference. Yeah, I'm trying to think about other things, because we get this question a lot, obviously, is that we get compared to XSense a lot, and they seem great. I think it's just they're more like enterprise level. Thanks, Renix. Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. We love you. We try to be really present. I do think that we have really great, despite these manufacturing delays, which are painful right now. But we have a great customer service team, and we try to be really present, and we try to support the community and stuff. And so, yeah, I do like that about us. I mean, we have a great team. Not to say their team isn't great, but I think it's just different levels, right? It's just different levels of mocap. So it's more accurate. I think that's probably the answer. But it's like, at what cost? Do you need it? Maybe if you're doing a Marvel movie or something. I don't generally, though. I think you can kind of get away with it. Anyway, that's my diatribe. Oh, that's great, Renix. A good story from the delays. That's. I'm so happy they made it to you. I don't know, Sri, for the shipping. costs. But you can, sales@rococo.com has all that information. So you email them and they'll tell you. If the suit size does not fit, should I give it to your nephew? I don't, maybe. You can buy another textile, and I think the suits accommodate most people. But that's another thing, like, if you don't have one yet, like, talk to our sales team or book a live demo and, like, go through it with them in person and everything. Yeah, Powell. I mean, right, for the XNs, the real killer in terms of price is the subscription, and I think you get a year free with XNs, but after a year it's like it's like 10 grand or something. I don't know. They have a bunch of stuff coming out soon, so I encourage you. You know, it's a competitive market. So, but I do like our stuff. We make some really fantastic mocap tools and workflows. Anyway, okay. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So I'm going to go grab a character. So this is going to be the wizard guy first. I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to use the Rococo Viking. Thank you all for bearing with me. The live streaming thing is kind of new to me as well. So I hope I'm not doing the chat too much and just boring people. Okay, so this is actually a free character that we have. If you go to like our Cinema 4D tutorials, in a bunch of them, you can find links to this character. This character is free. If people want it, let me know and I can like make a link and put it in I'll put it in the description when this goes live later, actually, is what I'll do. But it's a cool little character, Romer, which I believe means warrior in Danish. Although, God, I hope I'm not wrong on that. Danish team is going to kill me if I am. But yeah, great little low poly character. Looks cool. I actually re-rigged this character using Mixamo, so it's got a Mixamo rig on it. And we're just going to use the native Cinema 4D tools to rig, to put the mocap on this guy. So let's go grab the mocap. File, merge objects. Mocap that we exported is going to be in our documents. Export. This take 2 is what we want. Boom. And so here, I'll hide our Viking. And here's the mocap, right? Let me boost up the frames here. Here's our wizard mocap. Boom, there we go. Yeah. So how do we get this? The eternal question, retargeting with motion capture. So fun for everyone. The thing you don't realize is going to be very difficult until you start trying it. Exos does not have a red beanie, as far as I know. We should start giving them out with the suits if I had my way. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so how do we get this mocap on? Here's our mocap. Here's our character, which has, it's got a keyframe on it. So I'm going to expand this, which you can hit Control and expand everything, select all of them. I'm going to get rid of this tiny little keyframe here in the corner, which you probably can't even see. I'm going to shrink myself down a little bit. There's a keyframe here, though. Oh, no. I was in OBS. I was going to delete my something. Okay, no. In Cinema, get rid of the keyframe. No more keyframe. And I'm going to add a character definition tag. Rigging. Character definition tag. And if you're not a Cinema 4D person, you can do this in Blender using our retargeting tools. So we have tutorials on that. So I started in Cinema, so I tend to jump back and do it when I'm doing stuff like this. But if you add this character definition tag and then you open up the manager and you hit extract skeleton, this basically extracts all the bones out into a bone list so that Cinema 4D knows how to retarget the mocap, like what bone to what bone. That's kind of what you need to do in all these programs when you're doing retargeting, right? You need to tell the programs, here's your mocap, here's the hip bone on the mocap, you need to match that up with the hip bone on my character, and this is the hip bone on my character, right? So there's always a boneless system, like in Unreal, in Blender, in Maya, in Motion Builder, in Autodesk, in 3ds, Unity. There's always a bone list of some sort because that's how it does the retargeting. But it's easy in Cinema 4D. This is R23 now. It's pretty easy. So yeah, extracted all the bones. I'm going to set this as the reference pose. So like T-pose, that's what we want the reference poses of your mocap and your character to match. I'm going to add a character definition tag to my mocap. Open manager, and it opens on this screen over here, which is super annoying, but I'll drag it over. Hit extract skeleton. Does it all automatically. Like this doesn't always happen automatically, which can be pretty annoying. But then you just go in and you do it manually, and then you like save a preset, and it's fine. So okay, there we go. We got character definition tags on each one. Go to my Vikings character definition tag, create solver, and then you see we have this source character slot. And so we can drop in our mocap tag into here, and if we hit play, booyah, hide the skeletons. There we go. Got our mocap on our Viking wizard, who's going to be fighting robots, I think is what I decided we're going to put on the running animation. However, this is not currently like baked onto my character's skeleton. A couple comments here. Thank you all. So nice to see you all. So cool. I'm so excited to be doing these things. Honestly, it's really cool. I mean, this is like so much fun for me, and it's just great. You know, I don't know, Faraday, if you're still here, I keep coming back to you. But if anyone is having delays or problems, you know, it's nice to be able to talk to a real person sometimes. So I'm excited to be doing these things. Dong, is it possible on Maya? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but you probably. I use Maya for a lot of this stuff too. So the retargeting is certainly possible in Maya. It's better in Maya, if anything. I'm just not using Maya because generally I find fewer people have access to Maya. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Rococo animations always start in a T-pose. Yeah. Duxie. Which is great. Unless you're working in Unreal. But we're going to have a solution for that at some point. Okay, so here's my character. Retargeted. Okay, I'm gonna start speeding up because I don't want to waste I want to get to that sweet Houdini because that'll be a whole thing. But again, so this character is not keyframed. It's just referencing the mocap. We want to actually keyframe the bones of my character. I'm gonna make this skeleton visible again. If I hold down Alt, I can make these visible and invisible. Sorry, I'll get a key displayer thing at some point as well. And also, I do need to introduce. I don't know if you can see her, but that's Bocce over there. She's just been sleeping. Maybe she'll get up at some point. But yeah, okay. We want to bake these keyframes. So the way that I do that is I go and I add I go to the first frame A, and I'm going to select my character, and I'm going to go to Animate, add motion clip. And this is the non-linear editor thing in Cinema. But if I go to uncheck this remove included animation, so I don't want to remove any animation, but I want to add a motion clip to it. And now if I click this motion clip, which is this little tag that showed up right here, and I go to open in TL, what I can do is go to, how did I do this? Hold on a second. This isn't how I do it. How do I do it? No, it's not a motion clip. I'm going to go to my dope sheet. Yeah, okay. So you don't need to add a motion clip. That's other stuff. Okay, but if you go to your dope sheet, window, dope sheet, And if I go to functions, bake objects, and I just select my entire bone list here of my character and go to bake objects. I don't want to create a copy. Bake it. Boom, look at that. All these keys, all these joints are now keyframed. No, they're not. Oh yeah, they are keyframed. Yeah, they're all keyframed. So now, even if I delete these tags, delete my mocap, gone from cinema, there we go. Character is now animated. It's baked onto the joints. It's awesome. So Dong, if you want some test data, you can actually, there's sample data that comes with the Rococo Studio. So it's like a sample project. So I would just use that. And there's actually, I think there's an animation in that sample project that's kind of similar, where it's like summoning a character or something. So you could just use that data. Yeah. But yeah, okay, so here's our character. So this is great. You know, I'm just gonna save this out, and we're gonna kind of forget about it for right now. So I'm gonna go into my project, save this guy, and I'm gonna call this wizard character mocapped. Save it. Okay, boom. New project. Now we're gonna do the walk cycle or the run cycle with our robot. So it's gonna be a wizard fighting a robot in a bunch of trees. We probably won't render this out, but that's kind of what we are going for, right? And again, this is the reference that we're trying to recreate for those of you who weren't there. Wizard guy, people running at the wizard guy, and we're gonna, in a big Houdini crowd and blow them back. Boom. It's actually, and again, it's surprisingly easy to do. Okay, so for the running people that we're gonna explode, we're going to go and grab, I have a robot character that we're gonna use that I've used in a bunch of stuff actually. Robot, armored. Again, I took this mesh and I re-rigged it on Mixamo, so it's a Mixamo skeleton on this robot, and I'm gonna retexture this guy really quickly. If I go to Window, Project Asset Manager, I'm gonna just relink these assets. I can just like search in my models folder and it should do it automatically. Boom. You're gonna show up. Ooh, there we go. Cool camo. Okay, so what do we need to do to get this? I'm gonna create a little. I'm not actually gonna put it in a null because I don't want to mess with it. But yeah, we're gonna do the same thing with that running data that we downloaded earlier. So I'm going to go and merge that mocap data into the scene. It's the segment one. Throw it in, and you can see it's only 23 frames long. And if I guess I will put these guys in a null. Alt-G. I'm gonna hide them just for now because I want to see this data. Look, it's running. It's a running guy. There we go. Boom. So if we wanted to see this looping, what we could actually do is like, here, let's just take a peek at it. 1, 22. So I think I'm off by a frame or something, but that's the loop. That's the run cycle loop, right? Let me open this up a little bit again. Powell, yeah, there is a way to make the smart suit do climbing stairs. You can use Vive trackers. I actually don't really recommend it anymore. We have some other solutions that will be coming out end of the year-ish that should kind of be better solution to that. But yeah, I mean, really the way to do it is to use treadmill mode and then just manually move the character up the stairs, which is not, I think, what anybody wants to hear. But That's kind of the best way to do it, I find. Or you can go down the Vive tracker way, but it's a lot of, I don't know. It could just, you have a lot of moving parts at that point, and it can get tricky. But it works. It will work. It's basically using, a Vive tracker to track your absolute position within the Vive volume, and that's doing the hip absolute position. So then you can go upstairs and stuff, But again, it can get messy. So I don't know if I'd recommend it. Okay, I'm going to actually move these guys out of this null now because I just wanted to hide them for a second. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add character tag to my character's skeleton. Open manager, extract. Yes, did it all automatically. Go to my mocap, rigging tags, character definition, open manager, extract. And I'm just going to kind of go do this quickly because I want to get into Houdini. But I'll try to explain what I'm doing. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Create solver on my character. Drag in my mocap character definition. Here we go. Now we got a running robot. I'm going to again select all those joints from my character. Go to my dope sheet. Functions, bake objects. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Delete the mocap. Delete these tags. And hit play. Okay. And so now what we need to do that's yeah, it's working. Yeah, improvements are coming, pal. And how many times do I use my suit? A lot of times. I use my suit all the time, like every day. It's very durable, which is great. And also, if you ever get like a dead sensor in the suit, you can contact our team and they'll send you like either a repair kit or another sensor. There's a way to fix any. If you run into problems eventually, we'll like help you out, fixing the suit. But it's durable. I treat it like a couple $1,000 piece of equipment, but it's pretty durable. I use it all the time. It's great. Okay, so we got a T-pose here that we need to get rid of for Houdini. Houdini just needs the run cycle. It doesn't want any of the T-pose. It just needs a straight up run cycle. So we got to delete this first keyframe essentially. So if I select all my joints, I'm gonna select them all. I'm gonna go to -1. I'm gonna select this first keyframe, delete. There we go. And then I'm actually going to go to 0. I'm gonna shift all these guys back 1. Ooh, and then it looks like I got to delete this last keyframe as well. There we go. Okay, 21. So if we make this 21 frames long. Yeah, we could probably finesse this. Maybe I delete another frame or something. But that looks good. I mean, should we just finesse it? Look at those. Those legs are a little bit wide. That's like full sprint. For the purposes of this, I think this is good. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay. We've got a character. We've got our looped Rococo mocap on that character. Let's send this guy out to Houdini and start getting really weird with it. So I'm going to just export a FBX. And again, if you were doing this with Blender or Maya, so you need to end up with before you have Houdini, you need a run cycle. You can do this process just with Mixamo, run cycles, where you don't need to do any of this prep because those things are already set up, or you could buy a run cycle from the Motion Library, which is our mocap store. The point is you can't have like a T-pose. It has to just be the run cycle when you take it into Houdini for this workflow. You can do basically anything in Houdini. I just don't know how. And so this is the workflow I'm going to show you because this is the one that I know. So we're just going to export in FBX. And this is like a pretty new FBX. I'm actually going to use 7.5 because I haven't done this with 7.7. Not that there should, let's do it with 7.7. If we run into problems, we'll come back. Ooh, and maybe we should just save too. That might be a good idea. Sometimes saving is a good idea, like when you don't want to be angry at yourself. Robot runner. Yeah. And we're going to export this FBX. Boom. Boom. I'm just going to throw it in this. I'm going to actually throw it in the main folder. Excuse my burp. I'm just going to call it actually robot runner. Boom. That's our FBX. Done. Okay. Time to open up Houdini. Yes, it does like to crash randomly. So I think yeah, saving is always good. El Nesty, how to make mocap animations with Rococo? It's pretty easy, but you do need a suit. That's the thing about it. Although you can go to the motion library, which is our motion capture store, and there's a bunch of free assets on there actually. Let's actually take a peek at that. Because this is pretty cool. And hopefully we'll have more free things on here. But if you go to Rococo Studio, which you can download for free, it comes with this sample project that I was talking about. So these are Rococo animations. You can like export out if you want to test Rococo mocap with your workflow, which I think is always a good thing to do. Always test, you know. We have some facial motion capture ones in here too. Some opera singing. These are all me. But if you go to this ML, this is the motion library. And if you sort by, I mean, these are like super high quality assets made by like real motion capture studios. But if you go to price, we have a ton of free ones. So you can go and like download these. We have a bunch of combat ones, some walks, swinging on a rope. That's hard mocap to get actually. Front flip. You know, there's just some alternatives to Mixamo. Hopefully we'll have a lot more of these at some point. Ooh, mid-rhythm dance. These assets are so good. Moro Motion is like my favorite. Thanks, Effie. Yeah, I'm happy that you use it. We don't talk about it enough, probably. The motion library is really cool. There's a ton of things on here, and they're really high quality. And they're made not with only Rococo suits. These are made with like XN suits and Optitrack and Vicon, and it's just they're all being sold through our store. The Moro Motion is so good. Like this dance is so good, and I think we've all seen the Mixamo dances like a million times, so it's nice to have something different. Like I want to see a ton of characters using this dance online in the next week, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, Motion Library is great. Check it out. Download Rococo Studio for free. It's all in there. And if you're using Maya, you can actually use it natively within Maya. Okay, so I'm on a 1080 screen, so I apologize for the kind of cramped looking nature of this all. Haven't done this for a little while. Ugh. Get all my knuckles here, and let's give this a go. So yeah, let's see what we can do. So yeah, Houdini's complicated, but it's also, these shelf tools are like awesome. You know, it's really easy to get things going like quickly. If you want to pyro effects, let's add a sphere. Boom. Choose the sphere. Flames. Boom. This thing is the little clock is real time versus like so this is every frame. Hit play. Houdini flames. 2 clicks. The power of Houdini. Like, you know, I don't know. I need to put a lot more time into understanding Houdini and like exactly what's going on and with all these nodes. But if you don't want to do that, you can have the shelf tools. And like, again, this is Houdini Apprentice. So this is free. I don't think I can export out of this because I'm transferring all my licenses over to my new computer. But like, you can use full Houdini for free, which is really incredible. El Nesty, what do I need to use Rococo? I mean, you need a Rococo suit, basically. So we make hardware. We make Mocap suits, which I didn't demo today. But it's a suit and gloves and stuff, and so that's kind of what you need to use Rococo. If you on the back end, you just need Blender. You need a free program, or Unreal, free program. You know, it's amazing how free everything is these days. Okay, but no, I'm gonna start a new project. I'm going to save this project because this thing will crash too. I'm going to save it in D. You're seeing my semi-organized folder structure here. And I'm going to call this Robot Runner 01. We'll version it out. And I'm going to go to the crowds shelf tool, and I'm going to hit agent because we're going to add an agent. And instead of adding something that's already within the scene, if we go to FBX, we can import an agent. So I'm going to go import that robot runner that we exported from Cinema. Yep, robot runner right there. I'm going to call it robot runner. And hit OK. Let's see what happens. Yes, it's working. Okay, there we go. We got our robot runner. If we hit play, look. So one thing, right? We went through all that trouble to get rid of the T-pose and everything. Monster of Truth, I don't know. I don't have any information on it, and I don't know exactly what the deal is with the sponsorship forms, but I'll find out and stay tuned next week. You could try messaging our social, Rococo, Hello Rococo on Instagram or something like that. And maybe someone will answer you. I'm sorry if they don't. I don't know. But I know that we're actively looking at those forums, so they might just be going through them still. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I don't have more information on that. Okay. So here we go. And as you can tell, so we only exported 22 frames out of Cinema, and it's automatically looping it, right? Because this is a crowd agent. This is made for looping crowd type stuff. Yeah, of course, Monster. I love referring to people as their avatar names. Monster. M-O-T. Yeah, keep at it. It's cool. We're trying to. We're gonna do more contests and stuff too. We're gonna have a Blender contest coming out with the Ian Hubert, the Ian Hubert models that he made. We're gonna do a contest with them, I think, at some point soon. And Vania, our Instagram, our social manager, is amazing, and she's got like lots of fun plans for contests and stuff. So we're gonna have more community like events. And hopefully we'll do more stuff with Clint at some point and other people. But anyway, it's looping it automatically because it's a crowd. This is Houdini crowds, and that's what it's going to do. So that's why we went through all the effort of getting rid of that T-pose at frame 0. We just wanted the looping animation. That's it. So then this is what it gives us. Right off the bat, this is starting to look good, right? So what we're going to do next is we're going to hit Add Collision Layer. And I did a whole tutorial on this. I think it's on our YouTube, yeah, or the Animation Hour, which is was our old version of a live stream. So this is like if I'm going fast, I apologize, but there are other tutorials on this workflow, and I guess you can always play this back too. So I hit collision layer, select the agent that I want to do. I think I have to be in the object level. Yep, I do. So select my agent, boom, it's orange, hit enter. And as soon as we do that, what has happened is that it has added a bunch of dots on all of our bones. And these are essentially, we're going to be building up the collision layer of this character from the bones that it has. So this is similar to like Unity or Unreal, or anything that does ragdoll simulations. It's always going to be, usually it's not surface collision. It's like you're building up collisions from the bones of the character. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's generally what I find. Vincent, you cannot import BVH files. You cannot import files into Rococo Studio right now. But again, we have a version coming out by the end of the year that you will be able to import files into. And that's going to be like, there's going to be a bunch of editing tools and stuff. So it's going to be like more of an all-around motion capture program as opposed to just a Rococo suit motion capture program. So you can't import them into Rococo Studio right now. You got to do it in Blender if you want to be playing with mocap files or cinema or something else. Anyway, so we hit add collision layer. It adds all these dots. And now what happens if we no. And now what happens is we go to configure joints, select our character. No, I screwed that up. Back, undo. Okay. What we need to do is we need to go in and click each one of these. And as soon as we click it, yeah, we get a box that is basically our collision layer for that joint. So this is the head. And I'm just going to go through right now manually and essentially build these collision layers like for the head. I think, can I rotate this? I'm not even sure. Can I? Is there, where's my rotate? No. Uh-oh. What did I do? Okay, back. I'm just going to go back. Okay, there it is. Boom. Okay, I'm just going to, I'm not going to rotate it. We don't need it to be perfect. But yeah, okay, so that was the head. And I'm going to kind of just go in piecemeal and do it for all of these guys. So this one is the neck, I think. This little dot right here. So I'll, extend this out. It doesn't need to be perfect is what I've found with this. My dog is snoring in the background. I want to put a mic on her. But basically these are going to be the things that are bouncing off of the floor and off of the stuff that we fire at these characters. So you just kind of want to encompass a bunch of the geometry, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Like this is by no means perfect. You could make it perfect if you were doing something, not a live stream where it was a music video and you wanted it to be perfect or something. But in our case, it doesn't need to be perfect. So I'm just clicking on each of these dots. It gives me a little bounding box. Here's the hand. I'm gonna make the hand encompass the whole hand. Boop, boop, boop. So that's the right arm done. You go grab, ooh, look at that shoulder. That looks weird. Oops, undo. Do it as best as I can. Again, it really doesn't need to be perfect is what I found. Like the left and right collarbones are different, but it won't matter. I'm not even adjusting these ones. Boom, because it's fine. Hand. Zoop. Zoop. Try to encompass the fingers. Again, it just really doesn't matter. This is the... You do kind of want to do it for every major joint that is connected to something, because they're going to be like touching you just it'll come into play later a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens with that one. That one's weird. Come back to that one. Yeah, but you can see I'm just kind of encompassing the mesh. Forgot to turn off my Slack notifications, so I'm getting my D&D group is sending me information. It's on the other screen, thankfully. It's not embarrassing unless I mention it out loud. Oh no. No, D&D is not embarrassing anymore, right? D&D is cool. Okay, this hip looks really offset, but I don't think it matters. I'm just gonna keep going. Ugh. Ooh, that doesn't look right? That looks a little funky. But this is like a background action-y shot, so it's again, it's not really gonna matter. And then these guys should, yeah, they're gonna be just good to go. Boom, boom. Not even gonna make any adjustments. Pop. That's gonna be the foot, hopefully. We'll see if these feet like roll away at some point, if I've done something wrong. Yeah, okay, no, that looks right. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, I went through, and as you can see now, I've got, right, bounding box around everything. Yeah, watch the other Vincent, the other version, and it's a lot more, makes a lot more sense. It just goes through it more methodically. But, so now that I've done this, I'll go to configure joints, click on my character, hit enter, and it's gone through and been like, okay, these are all the joints that are going to be physically moving. And what's really cool is when you hit configure joints, it gives you this test ragdoll sim. So if I enable this node, it'll kick out a little floor, and if I hit play, boom, look at that, we got a ragdoll. Like, one of the hardest things to get in visual effects, a ragdoll. As you can see, something weird is happening. It looks like in the chest area. I bet that bounce is they're like intersecting or something. So I wonder if I can even, let me go back to my out, and maybe I can adjust. Yeah, like these are, I don't know, let's see if that does anything. I don't know, I'm just clicking on random stuff at this point. You can always clear, oh, it cleared it automatically. Nice, yeah. Look at that, so freaking awesome, man. Oh no. Why is it? It's like popping like that because it's like doing some weird interaction. You know, it's some weird collision stuff is happening. I'm kind of gonna leave it because like we could go down a really deep dark rabbit hole if we spent a lot of time on this, and you know, this is an overview. Ooh, Powell, that's a great idea. I never even thought about that. Oh, and you got some D&D-ness. Dropping the knowledge. That's a great idea. Maybe we'll do that. I love that idea. We will do that. Good idea, Powell. I want to credit you when we do that. Maybe we'll do that in 2 weeks. Not next week, but maybe, well, I want to give some time. I don't let people know that we're going to do that, because that's really cool. Maybe we'll do that once a month or something. Huh. Cool idea. I like it. Anyway, okay. So we've configured our joints. All looks good. If you hold down Control and click this little brain, I can delete the cache here. And now what we want to do, let's start getting really crazy with it. We're going to, okay. This is where it's going to get more interesting. Okay, I'm going to hop back up to my object level, and I'm going to create a grid. And this is going to be the thing that we basically spawn our crowd onto. I'm gonna go to that grid and I'm gonna change, yeah, I wanna make it a little bit wider. Yeah, cool. And I'm gonna make it, yeah, and a little bit thinner. I want like, actually I wanna make it, yeah, okay, a little mix of the two. There we go. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. We can mess with this later is the cool thing. So we're gonna select our robot. We're gonna go to populate, and we're going to select the grid that we just made. And hit enter. There we go, look at this. We got a bunch of robots. And I don't know why they're so in a grid. Random seed. So you can change that, yeah. But now we've got a crowd of robots. And again, this is free. This program is free, man. This is crazy. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to simulate. And we're gonna click on our crowd of robots. And you can see it's all selected. We're gonna hit enter. And we want the C4D main, which is the take, I think, that came out of C4D. If you were to do this in Maya, it wouldn't say C4D main. It would just say, I don't know what it would say. But it's basically our animation and our ragdoll. And we want both of them to be simulated. So we're going to hit, it is the Rococo gang. We're going to hit accept. And now, if we hit play, oh no, they're running the wrong way. How do I fix that? That was like a whole thing. Oh no, yeah. Okay, I know what the problem was with that now. I think that, so this is the live streaming aspect of this. So there is a way to fix this. Let me go back to cinema. I'm gonna have to go back to cinema. I'm thinking. Yeah, I know. Look at the crab walk. Not a good look. It looks kind of funny though. So what this is, and I remember this now, is that when I recorded this in Rococo Studio, let's open this up. So if anyone's trying to follow this at home, yeah. What you want to do is you don't want to run sideways. So this is basically, Houdini is like, look, you told me that this is forward. How do I shift and right click? But he's not going forward, he's going sideways. So I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to change this without re-recording. I mean, I'm sure there is, but like a way that I can change it so that it doesn't take an hour of everyone's time and we waste this thing. Maybe what we'll do is just download a Mixamo thing so we can go through it. Thank you. Thank you, Dong. Yeah, we will figure it out. No logic. I would recommend getting in touch with sales at rococo.com or booking a demo with them directly, and they can go through all that stuff. I don't want to give out anything that is incorrect, and I'm not totally familiar with the hardware warranty. But there are people who, if you reach out to sales at rococo.com, or if you book or if you book a live session, then they can help you out with that. Yeah. Okay. Let me think about this. I got to think about this for a second. So this is like where my knowledge of Houdini starts to become more important, right? We want to change this. So in what we did is now we have a crowd sim is what we did. And that's this node right here. And man, if anybody knows in the comments, throw me a solution. But basically what crowds are doing is it's using this pop source, and this is a particle source. And it's running the crowd basically off these particles. So these particles are being launched in a direction, and the crowd is following them, as far as I can tell. So I might be able to do it in here. I think I was able to do it in here at one point. Okay, birth attributes, inherit attributes. Use inherited velocity. Okay, hold on. Set initial velocity. So my velocity wants to be -1. If this works, whoa, bro. Oh, that's the variance. Okay, now I'm going backwards. That's not right. It's going down. Okay, so it's got to be Z. Are we going to figure this out? Are you kidding me? No. We're not. Maybe we are. Okay, that's... So is it 1 on the X? So that... Oh no, okay. Interesting. Okay, use inherited velocity. We're gonna keep that, and what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna add a transform. Maybe that'll work. To this crowd source agents. Kind of bummed that I can't just continue throwing things at these guys like I wanted to. Well, this seems messy. I want to save. Hey. Save 02, version 2. Let's add a transform in here, see what it does. No. Yeah, they rotate, Powell. They rotate to follow velocity, but that's not. They're going in a different direction, but they're still going sideways. You know, I think it might be on my robot runner. When I create my agent, load clips, agent prep. This is like so not the way that you were supposed to do this, but that's why you're hanging out with me. Okay. I keep getting my hopes up here. This is brutal. 90. No, that wasn't it. Angry. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half, or an hour and 15. And I was planning on doing this in 2 parts anyway. So maybe we'll call it here and I'll re-record this guy. I'm going to keep messing with this. This is the live aspect of this. I wonder if I can... You know what? Let's try this. Okay, so it just needs to be set to the Z axis. Okay, I bet I can do this. Okay, let's... Oop. Let's try this. So here's our robot. We're just going to rotate it onto the Z axis. I'm going to save this. Oh man, Houdini. Yeah, I do want you to. Okay, I'm going to do a new project. Let's see if this works. I'm going to re-export this. I'll be so impressed with myself if I can figure this out on the fly. But I don't think that I will be able to. Add a 2. Lets me know things are going right. When you start getting your FBXs with tons of numbers after them. Okay, we're going to go and make an agent. FBX. Hey. What? Back. Where did I save that? I don't know where I saved that. Export FBX. 7.7. Oh, I saved it into edit. Messy. Folder organization. Okay, add an agent, FBX. Runner 2, robot, runner. Okay, he's going the right way now. Duxie. This is why I don't use Houdini. Bocce, help me. You're not helping me. Thank you for playing with the features presented. Yeah, ESD. I hope that just means basically... I think it's good to actually see people struggle in real time, because it does not usually go perfectly the first time. So I'm not going to talk about what I'm doing as much this time, but let's go through, add a collision layer, enter. Then we're going to go through. We're going to do it really quick. Boom. Add a head. Dun. And, man, I have done this sort of thing so many times at this point that I don't know if I'm necessarily really fast at it, but I am definitely faster than I used to be. This is the neck. Boom. Expand it out on the top. Boom. This is like the collarbone thing, I think. Ooh, make it real ugly and okay. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it's fine. Collarbone. Boom. Expand. I think this is going to work. Get ready. Get your fingers over the F in the chat. Is that how it works? Is that what the cool kids do? They put F in the chat when somebody's really fucking up. Excuse the language. Actually, I don't think I am really fucking up because I think we're going to be able to fix this. Boom. Collarbone. We're just going to click on these arms. The reason that it's going the right direction now is that we hopped back into Cinema 4D and we just rotated it along the Z. That's the important thing, I think, to know for this process in Houdini that I'd completely forgotten, is that your character needs to be running or walking or skipping or doing whatever the crowd is going to be doing along the Z axis. And our character was along the X axis because I thought it would be cool to be running in profile. Maybe we'll fix some of the problems that we had when we did this the first time, actually, like that bouncing. But yeah, so it needs to be running along the Z axis. Man, raise your hand if you never thought you were good at math, or you would be good at math, and I'm not good at math still. And then you started doing CG, and then you started casually throwing out words like axis that you hadn't used since you were a kid in like school. You start sounding like a scientist to yourself, even though you have the barest understanding of math. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I think this is gonna work. I want it to work. This thing is really weird. Okay. Let's not get the hip going too crazy. There we go. Configure joints. Enter. Let's try the ragdoll. Make sure it's not too screwed up. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's working. Oh man, is it going to be fixed? Hop back up. Create our grid. Boom. I don't even care about the placement right now. We'll deal with that later. We're going to populate it. We got a ton of robots. We're going to simulate. This is it. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to come back and we'll fix this next week. Part 2. Come on. So this is it. This is the play. Who here thinks that, well, Paul, you are an artist. Programmers are artists, actually. Aren't they? I mean, essentially, it's all art. Because it's not like there's any right way to do anything. Yeah. Okay. Who thinks it's going to work? I do. What about you guys or girls? It's 10-second delay. I'm just going to do it. F. Okay. Play. Yeah, it's working. It's working. The reason they're doing that is because they're avoiding each other. So it's working. Great. Let's do it. Okay, let's keep moving. So, okay. Awesome. That's how you fix that, apparently. Great. Okay, we're going to start with 5 of them. Nice. Look at this. They're running. So they look really weird, but we can fix all that. They're legging it. Really wide-legged. Okay, cool. So now we will do this. We got a little bit more time. As a cap at 2 hours. So let's get through making them look better and then throwing stuff at them. And then maybe we'll call it there. And I don't know if we'll have a part 2. I kind of want to put it all together, so maybe we will. Maybe we'll finish it up next week. Okay, cool. So you can see that these guys look super funky. That's because their velocity is not matching their animation. We need them to be moving forward faster, right? Essentially. So we can do that in... First of all, I'm going to actually spread them out. The cool thing about placing them like on an object is you can go and like dynamically, procedurally change their placement. Excuse my burp. So I'm gonna make 10 of them. There we go. 10 of our runners, right? They're looking good. They're gonna be running out our wizard, in case you forgot that that's what we were doing. Robots running out of a wizard. So now if we go to crowd source and we're going to zoom in on our C4D main. Clip speed modifier is how fast they're running. Gate speed is how far they're running. So if I turn up the gate speed, yeah, this is starting to look more normal, right? And let's basically, when they put their foot on the ground, their foot should not be sliding. So they look like they're running at about the right pace now. I feel like they should be moving faster. Let's kick it up a notch. Let's make it 3.5. They're cruising it, right? Towards this wizard. Yeah, because you're not going to know. You want them to be moving fast. Okay. So now they're moving the right speed. But the other thing that's cool is you can actually go up, and if you go back to crowd source, and you go to randomize, we can randomize the clip time, and this will make them be running at a different point in the animation. So it won't look so uniform, right? So now they're like all at different running speeds. And what we can also do is randomize their scale a little bit just to make it a little bit more interesting. We're going to make it 0.1. And I'm going to change the seed. So it's, there we go. There we go. Now we got a bunch of robots. Here we go. This is our little robots running through the scene. Cool. So that is done. We got our simulation, and we got our running robots going. So what I would basically do in this situation is I would assemble everything in Cinema or in Blender or whatever it is later. So we have our wizard character, right? And like I could put him into Houdini and time it all up, but I don't really need to because the camera is panning. Let's create I haven't installed Octane on this yet. Oh God, what is that? Camera. Okay, so we're just gonna do something really quick and dirty because kind of I'm also gonna shift this. Also quick and dirty. Cool. Okay. Save. Ooh. No crash. Amazing. Okay, we got our camera, right? And it's like, let's turn on auto keying. And we're going to put a keyframe on our camera right here. And he like, comes up or whatever. Hey, are you not auto keying? And it would like, in the shot that we're trying to copy, it kind of follows his movement. And it would do something like that, right? Boom. That, I don't know why the heck it's over there. Turn off auto keying. Ball, right? That's kind of what we would be looking at. So it doesn't really matter. And the point I'm trying to make is the timing of our crowd doesn't matter. Yeah, this is Netflix and chill for 3D artists. The robots are not free, unfortunately, but they're on CG Trader. They're Michael Wisham model. They're really great. They're kind of expensive, unfortunately. But this guy's free if you want him. But anyway, the point is, like, we don't really need to time this explosion of force of these robots. So I'm not going to worry about it. We just know that it needs to happen. It doesn't even need to happen after a certain amount of frames. We want to be running for a little bit, but it doesn't need to be anything. We don't need to worry about timing, really, because what we would do is we would export an Alembic or an FBX out of Houdini, and then we would just retime it in Cinema 4D. And that's kind of the way that would work. Boom. So now what we can do is we're going to grab a sphere. We're going to make a big sphere, and we're going to make it bigger. Oh, it's going to be poor robot time. And if we make the sphere a static object, as soon as we do that, it's going to add this sphere into our little simulation here, into our crowd sim. God, I wish that this was a 4K screen, because this is it looks very chunky to me, this UI. But anyway, yeah, so we also need a ground plane. Add a ground plane. That's going to also automatically add it into our crowd simulation here. And what we are going to do is we're going to set up we're going to set up a trigger, and we're going to set up a transition. And what this is going to do is basically Houdini, we're going to tell Houdini, hey, when this sphere hits these robots, I want you to turn that robot into an RBD object. And at that point, treat it like just a rigid body simulation, throw it all over the place, make it hit the ground, whatever. And so that's the trigger, is basically RBD impact data, and we can select that sphere object that we put in. So that's the trigger. I do want to put some trees. I will put some trees, Dong. We'll do that in a second, because I want to have them hitting trees, and yeah, it should be cool. And then for the transition, we want to transition the input state from the running to the ragdoll, right? And if I turn off dynamics, because I just want to keyframe this sphere object here, and I think is it alt clicking to do a keyframe? We'll find out. Is it alt clicking? Yep. Okay, no, we're going to turn dynamics back on, play it. Okay. Boom! Hit by the wave. So at 25-ish, 49-ish seconds, we're going to have this sphere and we're going to keyframe it. Hey, get out of here, thing. We're going to have to adjust this. We're going to basically go, boom, send it through the crowd of robots. Keyframe. Ooh, so now if we turn the dynamics back on, it should just work. But it didn't. Oh, yeah, and that's why. The last thing you got to do is you got to go to the C4D main and make this animated static instead. And so that's going to say, hey, if things happen that hit this object, it's not going to ignore it. It's going to actually react. Come on. Boom! There we go. And that's it. Look at that. These guys are probably really crunched up. So you know what we could do? Boom. You know what I'm going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to keyframe our sphere like right here. We're going to get rid of the second keyframe. And then we're also going to just turn the scale, oh yeah, of the sphere up so it hits all of these guys. And like this, there's a million ways to do this, but this could have been, you know, in that shot, these are real actors, right? They're getting pulled by wires, I imagine. I remember when I looked at it, though, initially, I was like, that was CG. I think it's real actors getting this, like, special effects instead of visual effects. But you could totally, like, make something realistic, especially with all the motion blur, using a crowd system, like, just like this. And so now, let's go back and play this back again. Holy shit. Okay, it hits them way too hard. Let's try that. Oh, cool, man. That looks cool. That looks freaking awesome. I love this stuff. I'm so into it. Incredible. That is incredible. You know how hard that would be in 10 years ago to do? And like, you know, it took me a little longer, but that is craziness. And if we wanted to, yeah, like add some trees or whatever, these would basically be the trees. Let's add a tree there. Let's add a tree. No, the best way to do this is, this gets into a little Houdini stuff. Whoa, what the hell are these things? Oh, I'm in like a weird... No, I want to be in object mode, yo. What? Transform. Whoa, Houdini, you have changed. What is this? So bizarre. I don't... Oh, these are like a control rig type vibe. Oh, weird. What is that doing? Very bizarre. I'm going to make a copy of this. And this guy I'm going to move over here. And then we're going to make another copy. And this guy I'm going to move over here. We could actually make these guys like avoid the trees. We're not going to do that. I'm going to merge all these. Okay, here are our trees, right? So if we go back out and we make these trees, I'm not naming anything properly, but these are our trees. We make these static objects, and then we go into our crowd sim, and now they're just static objects. We hit play, they're gonna hit all these trees. So cool. Love it. Oh wow, it's like oh no, it's not, okay, that's not good. Collision source, we actually need to make these a surface collider, because the it's acting as if this is a whole, this is one object. Collisions, I'm gonna make this surface collisions. Here we go, this should work better. No, it's not. Okay, why? Yeah, this is like some troubleshooting that probably isn't worth everyone's time. show surface collision radius. Oh, because it uses bullet. So we need to make this concave, show guide geometry. Right, it uses bullet. Well, another way to do this would just be to like, no, let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. And let's just do this really janky style. And I'm going to make one over here. And then we'll just do this, and we'll make another one. Why not? And make these all static objects. And now, oh no, please don't crash on me. Escape. Save. Oh, this is a new project. We haven't saved this yet. Robot Runner 3. Didn't name that right, but it doesn't matter. Hit play. Cool. Yeah, see, they go through the trees now. Some of them hit the trees. There you go. Renix. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of applications for this. This is honestly like, this is really cool. I love it. I mean, obviously I'm all excited, but yeah, I think this is crazy. It's crazy that like, you don't really need to have a ton of knowledge about Houdini to be able to do this. And, these don't have to be tubes. Like what I would do is I would do it with tubes, and then I'd go in and I'd put trees from Quixel in the place of where the tubes obviously are. And yeah, I'd assemble it all in Cinema. So I haven't figured out, this is Houdini Apprentice. I haven't figured out my licensing for indie yet. I don't know how we're gonna do that. So I don't have indie, so I can't export this. Otherwise, I would basically export an alembic of this, and then I would just position them and time it. So boom, he does that, and it throws them all back, and you put some trees in, and you put some stuff in, and yeah, Renix. I mean, I think this is like why it's worth to have a Houdini indie license. I mean, the cool thing is you can go in and you can do all this, you can test out, make sure that you're going to have a good result using the Apprentice, because the only difference between Apprentice and indie is the ability to export out. Otherwise it's completely full functionality. But yeah, and the other thing is like, now that we have this, we could add other things. We could add other forces. We could, there's like a million things that you could do with this crowd. Boom. And the other thing that's cool is like, we don't like how much they're ragdolling out. Like these guys are going crazy. You can come in here and you can change their on the ragdoll, like set the stiffness to like 0.7, and they're gonna look much more like bodies. Like human bodies, they do ragdoll, but they also, there's like a certain stiffness that they have. And so see, that's like, that looks good. You put that in the background of a shot, that is some Game of Thrones level shit in my opinion. That looks fine. Like you could get away with so much. You add motion blur and some lens flares, add rain. Yeah. I mean, we could add anything to these and it would all affect it. You could have them be running in the liquid or grains, or these are just RBD objects as soon as they get hit. Anyway. So I'm probably going to kind of call it there. Does anyone have any last questions or anything? I hope this was fun. This is our first one of these. I'm getting kind of dark, it looks like. But yeah, you know, I'm going to kind of sign off, call it there. This was really great. I'm happy that something went wrong, to be honest, because it's good to have things that go wrong. I'm going to shamelessly show you off. Come on. This is Bashi, the Mocap dog, who was just sleeping. We woke her up. I figured I had to show her a little bit. Oh, well, we got a tum-tum right here. Yeah, if anyone has any other questions, you know, we're going to be doing this every Thursday, is the plan. And we'll be doing different things. I don't know what we'll do next week, but whoever is Powell's idea to do the review of Rococo animations, I think is a great one. So we'll definitely do that. Yeah, Renix, share it. Put that, tag us because we'd love to see it. Incoming Infinity. Any chance of Rococo Studio in the future implementing? Oh, that's interesting. To have a VR space. I don't think we've thought about that, so probably not. But I think you would... That's interesting. A VR space. It would be awesome to record new animation that interacts with the one. That probably, yes. I don't know if it'll be a VR thing, but you will be able to, in the next iteration, you'll be able to have multiple recordings, like all hanging out together, and you can act, you could record one character and then act to that recording. That'll be a thing. Dong, thanks for coming. It was so cool. Yeah, ESD, you learn from the adventure. It is quite an adventure. I know we need some dog suits. Yeah. And Powell, that's a great idea. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, Incoming Infinity. The Studio 2.0, as it will be called, unless there's another cool name for it. It's going to have so many cool functions and options and stuff. So thanks everyone for joining. This was super fun. Yeah. Thank you, Tiger. This is what we did today. As a little recap. Yeah, take a sleep. Play it back one more time. Rococo, run cycle. In Houdini, getting hit, getting thrown. Despite some drawbacks, it was pretty easy to all get going. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, Dong will definitely be doing Maya. I love Maya for Mocap. It's really great. Incoming Infinity. I'm so happy that you're liking it. We're trying to just we know we're all struggling out here together, so we're just trying to, it's great. We'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Yeah, every Thursday. Cool, guys. I'm gonna call it right there, and thank you all for joining, and see you next week if you're around. And we'll do something else. We'll put out a little social asset about what we're gonna cover before we do it. So, thanks all. Say bye, Bachi. Shamelessly using me to be cute on stream. How dare you? Okay. Bye, everyone.